play. Welcome to Ultimate Soccer. Welcome to Wrexham. So welcome into Ultimate Soccer one more time, guys. Welcome back. It's great to see you. And also, if you're a first timer, you've never been here before, stay till the end. It gets better as this show goes. And remember one thing, pay for your ticket. What am I talking about? I mean, like the video. It's like paying for your ticket to a good game. This is going to be another great show. So stick around and get into it. And it is the 9 players that I feel Wrexham need to go out and have a look at and go get. So therefore, I am in the scenario of this show acting as Wrexham's technical director of player recruitment in the off-season to get Wrexham from a League 2 team into a League 1 challenging team. And remember, the prerequisites that I've set for this is there's parameters that I got to move within because Rob and Ryan, well, they don't want me to spend too much money, but they want me to spin miracles and bring players to the club. And Rob and Ryan are listening diligently, aren't you, Rob and Ryan? Yes, you are. So I'm going to save you money, save you time, and draw some players to your attention and yours as well. And by the way, guys, if you have a player or a set of players that you think Wrexham needs to look at, down below, make a comment like you always do. By the way, big thanks for everybody throughout the season. It was a lot of fun. And all the comments, all the poets on this channel, as I say, big loves to everyone. And you know I'm talking to you personally because it's a nucleus of players on this team that make all the great comments down below. Join the gang, people. Get in there. Comments down below every time. Tell me who you think Wrexham should go after. Tell me what you think about the show. Yeah, absolutely. So, who's online, Susie? A second. Okay, wait a minute. Wait, I've got it. It's Franco. Franco, yeah. Okay, yeah. I've got it. All right, put me through, yeah. I'll get the light when he's in. Yeah. Hey, Franco, how you doing, mate? Yeah, all good. Listen, I got your offer, but I've got to say we're worlds apart. What I'll do is I'm going to throw a player in and a bag of balls and a couple of nets, yeah? Maybe some goalposts as well, yeah? Because your offer is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Thank you, Franco. Bye. Cheers, mate. You've got another call to make. Cheers, thanks, bye. Barry, how you doing, mate? Yeah. We're in for that, yeah, absolutely. Tell Alfie we'll be on the phone and we'll talk deals, sweeten the deal, and we'll move his family as well. We'll pay for the lot, and we've also got a nice place for him to stay before he gets his house set up. So, yes, we're taking Alfie on board. Thanks, mate. Moving along, we've got 3 players that I'm looking at as defenders, 3 players I'm looking at as midfielders, 3 that I'm looking at as forwards. Okay, let's start by looking at the first defender. Yeah, let's have a look at Marvin and see what he's about, and then we'll take a look at the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one. You got 9 players to look at in fast time. It's about a 15-minute reel, but there's 9 players. If you don't want to stay there, skip through. Just skip onto the stats, have a look at the stats, skip through to the next stat, skip through to the next stat. There's 9 players worth of stats. So if you don't want to hear the jargon, you've got your own opinion, but at least you can go to each picture along that stats reel and see the stats on each player. It's well worth going to because it tells you a lot in a very short time. After that, I'll join you on camera and give you more of what I'm thinking about this whole affair. But remember, I got to stay within the process, and I'm gonna use Wrexham as a promotional tool when I'm drawing players in. So the future of Wrexham, yeah, is amazing, right? The players that come here can't wait to get here quick enough. I guarantee you now, there's a lot of players in League 1 and also in the Championship that are probably looking over their shoulder thinking, you know what, if Wrexham comes knocking on my door, I got to take a look at that. Stepping down a league from the Championship to play for Wrexham to potentially come back up, that's a big lure. But the big lure is Rob and Ryan, the money invested, the sponsors jumping on board, the future of the club, the way the ground is improving as well, and the whole scenario with the Rex Tour and US Tours. You tell me any player that doesn't want to be part of that, that's sitting in the Championship right now, or even a guy that really is the top striker or top player in League 1. Remember, we're coming from the National League 2 years ago, pushing our chests out, and now, if you really want to go for promotion 3.0, then we're not going to make it with the squad we've got right now. We need to play with a better squad than we've got. And we've got to beef up the team as well. You'll hear about what I'm saying in this stats reel that makes sense in how we can beef up the team. And at the end, unfortunately, I'm going to tell you who we're going to have to release. And that's worth sticking around for too, because them is definitely some talking points. But here's the reel. Get into it, and I'll be back. And remember a thing. We'll buy some. We'll get some players with a player deal, and we'll get some players for free, like we did a massive player that you're going to hear about in this reel, and you'll be like, did we really get him for free? Holy shit, I didn't know that. All more reason to stick around and listen through the stats file, because it makes sense. There's a lot of work gone into them 9 players in 15 minutes, and I don't think any of you could get that amount of information in less than 5 or 6 hours getting the information, doing your journalism. So I've done it for you. Stick with it. You'll enjoy it. Remember, if you're here for the first time, pay for your ticket. Remember, I'm a sarcastic bastard at times, but you'll have a laugh too. I hope you're sarcastic too. Sarcasm is one of the best things on the planet. Apparently, this comic once said, sarcasm is the highest form of intelligence and the lowest form of wit. Yeah, it probably is. It probably is. Anyway, take a look at the reel. I'll be back after to get to the next stage, and I'll tell you what I think, who we need to release, and where we're going with this. And remember, we got to challenge for promotion. You're not going to do it with the squad we've got right now, right? Anyway, big love to everybody throughout the season for being here. Thank you for letting me in your screen. Take a look at this. 15 minutes long. You're going to love it. So first guy we're going to look at is Marvin Ekpiteta. I tell you what, he's been with Blackpool since 2020, 4 years now, 103 games, 9 goals. For a central defender, that's a pretty good return, yeah? Scoring goals as well as defending. Top defender in League One. He's won the awards, yeah. He's quite comfortable where he is. He's 28 years old and he's 6'4". On the ball, very steady, tackling very good. And I'll tell you, the couple of things I love about this guy is he's got a great personality. I've heard him speak. I've heard him how he is, and he seems to have a really good head on his shoulders. He's come through the ranks the hard way. Look at the clubs. You'll see what I'm saying. But he's especially good for Wrexham's game because he could well be a threat on a corner or even on a free kick. He's also been Blackpool Player of the Year in recent times as well. So I think we need to get in there and lure him away from Blackpool to basically bolster our defence. And he's played at League One, remember? That's what we need to bring in. And he's got a little international flavour at the international level too, yeah? So we're talking about a top League One player. That's one I think we should look at. Thomas Holmes is the next guy we're going to go for, also a defender. And Ekpiteta, by the way, is in around the £400,000 mark. That was 2020. We maybe get him for less than that. And if the contract is voided or comes to an end, it's just wages. But Wrexham is the attraction on all of these guys that are going to come here. Rob Ryan is the attraction. The future is the attraction. Wrexham is the best story in football, like I say every week. It's taking a look at another guy, Thomas Holmes. I've watched Thomas Holmes a few times. I tell you what, he's a really top defender, great tackler. I tell you, he reads the game so well. This guy even qualifies to play for Canada. For you Canadian fans listening in right now, he qualifies through his grandmother that he could play for Canada. I think Canada or Soccer Canada should take a look at him and get him in there because he's got a big game. Like I say, top tackler. If you go online, find a video, you'll see what I'm saying about. Also, he's got decent distribution, yeah? He doesn't panic on the ball. He looks around and sees what's coming off, whether that's in the offense or the defense. And what am I saying is he reads the game really well. He has super positional sense. I'd say get him on loan for this year coming from Luton and make him a great part of the future building for Wrexham. But I tell you now, I would be going all guns to get him. I'd pay him a decent wage. I mean, let's face it, if Blackpool can pay him and keep him going partially with the wages, then so can Wrexham. He's one guy I definitely would bring in. He would definitely make the defence a lot better. Not exactly going to light it up in front of goal, but I tell you what, if you want a real strong, stay-at-home, solid, tough tackling, great ball distributing defender, which there's not many of in the central defence, he's one you should go for. Get him on a loan deal for the season, and he's got Championship and League One experience. Yeah, he's definitely one of my books. Next one, as we finish the three defenders, is Callum Connolly. Let's take a look at Callum. Callum Connolly, like a lot of the guys you're going to see on the 9 players that I'm going to show you, started with big clubs. He started out with a big club. His youth career was 10 years at Everton. 10 years at Everton. They thought he was obviously going to be somebody. He also had international experience with England from 2015 to 2018, from U19, U21 levels. I mean, he played 21 games for England U teams. And I'll tell you why. Because he was with a big club. Had he have been with a small club, he would never have got to play for England. That's the bottom line. Because he was with Everton, England teams would look to the bigger clubs to say, well, you guys must have the best youth players. No, and it doesn't always work out. But what it does set a guy up for is he thinks he's a better player than he actually is, and he's stooped higher than he should be. And eventually he has to go down to the lower leagues because that's where he should have been all the time. Doesn't mean he's a bad player. It just means he isn't a Premier League player. And that's the points I'm making. He could be a championship player, but he's not a premiership player. I mean, let's face it, it's not all bad. He's 26. He's got a great amount of experience behind him for a 26-year-old. And I tell you now, get him. They say about 400,000 is what it's going to cost on the pounds, but I tell you what, throw an offer on the table. He's 26. Throw an offer for, say, 250 to 300,000. I'm sure he would come, especially with better wages. And again, he's a tall defender. He can play left. He can play right, and that's right back, wing back, left or right. And he can also play central defender, believe it or not. One of his strengths is he's also very good on the free kicks. And I don't just mean the heading. This guy's got a rocket shot, and he's absolutely a threat. If he gets the chance to take a free kick from, say, 25 to 30 yards, it's going to be on net. And if the keeper's sleeping, it's going in. Take a look online. Like I say, there's definitely a lot you can talk about with Callum Connolly. Let's get him in. So there's 3 defenders. That's what I'm thinking. Now, let's take a look at the midfielders. So Herbie Kane, here's another one, my friend. Started with a big club, yeah. Youth career, Bristol City, then at Liverpool. 5 years at Liverpool. That's a long time. And Bristol City is not a tiny little club either. So a lot of development time as a youth player. Then 2 years at Liverpool, didn't play a game, yada, yada, got loaned out, as you can see, and had some youth England experience too. 8 games, no goals. Now, again, just because you're at Liverpool doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be an England player. But again, England were looking for the best of the youth. They go to Liverpool, say, hey, what you got? Liverpool will say, well, we got this kid, Herbie Kane. Take a look, yada, yada. It goes da-da-da-da. And as you can see, after 2015, nothing happened. After 2020, yeah, Barnsley came in and picked him up. Since then, he's done pretty well with Barnsley. One of the top players, does win awards, yeah, as you can see, Player of the Month right there. And also, you can say Barnsley, 105 games, 13 goals. So he's a goal threat, and he's also in the game all the time. He's a bit expensive, so we might have to spend money to get this one, but we're not spending money on everybody. And remember the parameters I'm working within. I can't splash the cash. I've got to get some in for loaner deals, some for player swaps, so we can get a player in to trade off to get Herbie in, half the money, maybe 700,000, maybe better, but we'll work on that deal is what I'm saying, okay? So I want to bring him in. I think he would benefit, really benefit the midfield, and that gift and goals. He's like having another, do you want another Elliot Lee on the squad or in the team? Because I think we need it. We're going for glory again, 3 promotions back to back. If you don't spend to mend, you're going nowhere. We got to spend to mend to make sure we're a powerhouse in League One. Otherwise, why bother? So another midfielder, and I think we can get this guy on a season loan deal. I think this is the perfect time to step in and grab this guy. Reason why, look, 91 games, League 2 and League 1 since 2022. Yeah, I'd say talk to Brighton, get him on a loan deal, or let's see if they want to sell and how much it could be, because I'll tell you, he's not in their future. Otherwise, he'd be in the squad right now. Yeah? I think we need to move on him. Next guy moving along is Luke Harris. Now, this one will warm your cockles, you Welsh fans. Just take a look at those numbers. And I'll tell you what, I've loved everything about this guy. He's like a little general. He really is. He's got this know-how about him. He's got this great experience for a young head. Look, he's only 19. Yeah, 5'10". Not the biggest of players, not the smallest of players. He's perfect size, yeah. But his youth career, Fulham, yeah? Senior career, as you can see, he's played 4 games already, and the league loan was to Exeter City, 20 games, 4 goals. He's an attacking midfielder. He's got such a future. Look at those stats for Wales. If that doesn't wake you up about the talent of this guy at such a tender age, nothing else will. And at 19, he scored goals at international and league level. Again, you got to wake up with that one. He's 19. He's doing things that people way older should be doing. I think the future is great for this kid. And what I would say, Rob, Ryan, listen up. If you could get this guy from Fulham, spend the money, because this could be like an icon player for Wrexham for at least a good 10 years. Get him now, he'd be 29, even a few years longer. But this is the kind of guy that could be an iconic player for a single club. He's wearing that badge for Wales. He should also be wearing that badge for Wrexham too. Think about that, Wrexham fans worldwide, what I said just there. He should be wearing both the badges. And wouldn't it be a shrewd move to get him? Because in years to come, I got a feeling this guy's going to be worth way more. And if he comes to Wrexham now and rises through the ranks and through the leagues with Wrexham, then he may well get to the dizzy heights he's dreaming about. Anyway, let's not jinx it. But I tell you, Luke Harris, that's definitely someone I'm really interested to see what happens next. I tell you, without a doubt. Now, talking about the goal machines, the guys that put it in the back of the net, this first one may or may not surprise you, but worldwide Wrexham fans, if you don't know who this is, it's going to open up your eyes. Regular Wrexham fans should know who this is. We're talking about Macaulay Langstaff. I would pay money for this guy. And I tell you now, if you look at Macaulay's record over the last 3 years and Paulie Mullin's, have a look, Paulie Mully, yeah, 2021, Wrexham, 140 games, 105 goals, yeah? Don't worry, we'll come back to Paul's numbers in a minute. I know you want to stay there, but staying with Macaulay Langstaff, he's got great numbers too. And he's come of age and got better with age. Yeah? He's only 27, so he's right in prime. I really rate this guy, and I know most of you Wrexham fans do too. When you've seen this guy play, you know he's quality, and he is quality. He needs to be picked up by Wrexham. We could get him for a plum price. We wouldn't have to spend stupid money, but he could bolster the attack alongside Paul Mullin. You and I have both watched Wrexham this year, and sometimes we get a little bit thin on the ground up front. If you put Macaulay Langstaff alongside Paul Mullin, you got two great-footed players that can go left or right and are lethal in front of net. I have to make a deal for this guy. I'm going to Notts County personally to sign him. Let's see where it goes. Let me know what you're thinking, but as technical director of recruitment, I got to make a move on this, guys. What do you think? Am I right? Am I wrong with Macaulay Langstaff? Should I make that move? Should I hold off? I'll tell you now, I think I got to go and sign this guy. Next one up. Oh, well, before we get there, I teased you, but there's Paulie Mullin's numbers. And if you look at Paul Mullin, and you love Paul Mullin, and he's the player of the year, remember? So if you love Paul Mullin and what he's done for Wrexham, okay, Paul's 29. Macaulay Langstaff is 27. It could be a good time to bring someone in with Paul for the next 2 to 3 years. And then after that, next 2 years after that, bring someone else in to run alongside Macaulay and keep that top line flowing. That's my thoughts there. Anyway, next up, we're going to look at Devontae Cole. Again, Devontae Cole, another of those players that started with a big club, Manchester City, yeah. And then had time with England at the U19 level, 2014 at the same time, but never went any further. Another guy that was stoofed higher than he should have been. His dad is Andy Cole, the Man United giant, or Newcastle United giant, if you wish. And also a good England striker too. But looking at his numbers, you can see where I'm going with this. It's got better as time has worn on, especially in the last 2 seasons in League One. Hey, he's got 34 goals in the last 2 seasons and also has played 91 games. So he's got the legs, he's got the goals. That's 34 goals. Take that by 2, 17 goals that he could add up front. Just consider that to add to Paul, to maybe add to Macaulay. 3 strikers going well up front. Yes, he's a bit of a price tag, 450,000. That was 2021. But I think Wrexham can get him for cheaper, yeah? and we're going to have to unload some. Wait for the end of the show. I'm going to tell you who we got to unload to get all these guys and get the deals done. But again, as TD, I'm going in there. I'm going to make a deal. It'll be a player trade, maybe 2 players, and maybe no cash. I'm looking to come away with no money spent. So I might have to drop a couple of players to get this guy. But at the end of the day, the numbers tell you it's worth it. And he's pedigree. He knows where the net is. Absolutely knows where the net is. Next guy we're going to take a look at is Alfie May. And Alfie May to finish with, the top striker I'm looking at right now, 30 years of age. Charlton striker number 9, previously with Cheltenham Town for 4 years previous to that, where he played 3 seasons, full seasons, and 1/3 of a season. And the last 2 seasons with Cheltenham, he scored 23 from 46 games and 20 goals from 39 games respective seasons. Last season, more of the same, but it was in League One again, but this time Charlton Athletic, 43 games, 23 goals, and in total with all competition, 50 games last season, 27 goals. That's pretty good. Like when you think about Paulie Mullin, Macaulay Langstaff, etc., he's got the numbers, yeah? And he's not that expensive. Here's a guy, again, we're going to throw probably a player at, and I'm going to have to probably get some money into this one or further considerations down the line. But again, we're going to formulate a contract to pay hardly anything because Rob and Ryan are getting stingy now. They don't want me to pay any money. They're on the phone saying, Steve, what the f are you doing? No money. Players. We got to trade player for player. No money, Rob. No money, Ryan. I'm doing this the easy way. So, like I say, we're going to go through and get it, a player for a player. So, looking for what that trade could be. But at the end of the show, I'm going to tell you the players that we possibly will have to release to get these players literally across the line. So, Phil, we'll have some players coming in. That's what it'll look like every time we get a player across the line. And remember, please subscribe to the channel. Pay for your ticket like you know you should. Let's get back on screen. So I hope you enjoyed that. And remember, there's 9 players, Rob and Ryan, that you guys need to go and take a look at. And you might have to drop some dosh to make it happen. But maybe some of those players that we're going to release will be the ones that pay the bill. So I hope you're listening, Rob, Ryan. I really hope you're listening. So there you go. Don't forget, we've still got the Copa America coming in the summer. I'm doing the whole tournament, so you're going to love that. All the big teams, even Lionel Messi's in there, yeah? Don't forget, we've also got the Wrexham. I'm going to be a part of that. Whoa, I'm going to Vancouver. Yes, I am. And I'm going to love every second of that. I'm doubling that up with a game with Vancouver FC and Cavalry FC the day before, just a few miles away. So it's going to be a rocking football weekend. In fact, I'm going to do a video on the trip. It's going to be a 1,000K drive, 2 games, and a 1,000K drive through the Rocky Mountains. I'm going to show you some beautiful scenes. It's going to be like a mega beautiful football trip and a football video. So you got that to come still. That's in the summer as well. And I got to say, moving along, Canada Games 2 with CPL, Canadian Premier League segments as well. Going to be doing a coverage game, Vancouver FC in July 26th on that trip. That's another part of that video. It's mega trip, mega football video coming. So big thank you to everybody for letting me come into your screens every time we hit the screen. Don't forget the playoffs, League 2 playoffs show. Next up, coming super fast before the weekend. So probably Friday night, I'm going to drop the League 2 playoff show with my opinion on who's going where and what the final looks like and who will join Stockport, Mansfield and Wrexham next year in League 1. So don't forget, that's still coming too, yeah? And finally, the year was amazing. It still feels amazing. I was going to say this at the start of the show, but I saved it for the end. Are you still walking around like bobbing? Got this kick to your step, this cheeky Cheshire cat smile, grin, just everything's just fantastically good. Yeah? Are you in that mood? Because ever since we got promotion, man, stress is off. Fun face, smiley face is on. People think, what are you laughing at? I'm not laughing at anything, buddy. I'm just in a good place. And I hope you are too. In fact, I know you are. I know you are. There's nowhere else to be after what we've been through in 46 plus games this season. And remembering Paulie Mullin is our Wrexham Ultimate Soccer Family Player of the Year. We've got loads more stuff to come, so stick around. I hope you enjoyed the 9 players. Let me know who your players are. Let me know if you think I've got anything right, wrong. If you disagree with it, down below. I'd love to hear it. If you think I've got something good, let's go for it. And if you've got a player we don't know about, that's what Rob and Ryan need to hear about. Don't you, Rob? Don't you, Ryan? Yeah, they do. Okay, have a great weekend. Get ready for the playoff games. Monday, coming up fast. Oh, yeah. And let's see who goes through. But for now, you got to spend to mend. And we got to form a team good enough to jump up to challenge for a League One playoff spot minimum, right? And then see what happens if we can get higher. And remember one thing as well. I've done negotiations with these clubs and I'm looking at all 9 players to bring them in. Realistically, you know I'm not going to get 9 players over the line, right? But I'm looking to get 6, and that's what Rob and Ryan's directive is. We've got to get 6 in. So there you know. The players that we're going to release. Before I get to the squad and who we're going to release, just know this. Ryan, I've just put money into Club Necaxa in Mexico. So keep your eyes on that. That story's going to grow. I'll let you know. I'll keep you informed with that one as well. As for players to release, look, if Arthur Okonkwo sticks with us for the next year, I think we're okay for goalkeeping. But we need to add another keeper, in my mind, to be honest. In the defending core, probably McFadzean's got to walk along. I'm thinking Jordan Tunnicliffe is probably another one. William Boyle would get released as well. So there's my 3 defenders that I'm looking for to get going. In midfield, you might not like this. Luke Young, 31. We need fighting. We need fighting. I think the legs are slowly going on Luke. Love him. Big servant to the club, but 31, League One, challenging for the top. I don't think he's going to make it. Jordan Davies is certainly a player we're keeping. Absolutely. George Evans, I think it's Georgie's time to probably walk along, and possibly James Jones. You might not like those decisions, but I'm looking for excellence up top. People that have really improved it. Up in front, might not like this, guys, but I'm saying we've got to be hard to get people in. You're going to keep Paul Mullin, for sure. You're thinking of keeping Stephen Fletcher as well, because both have done well. But apart from that, Dorby, Marriott, and Ollie Palmer, Ollie's played a role, I know. And that role could be played again next year too. So you release Jack Marriott and you release Sam Dorby. So you bring in the other 2 forwards, maybe 3. So that's what I'm saying, who's got to go. You might not agree, but that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, that's what it looks like. And if you want to bring in the top players, that's what you got to do. So at the end of the day, there we are. There's the ins, there's the outs. That's what I'm thinking. What are you thinking? Put it down below. Remember, we still got all these big shows to come. Copa America's coming. League 2 playoffs is right around the corner. That is right on the doorstep. Coming before the weekend, ready for you for Monday to get into. And I'll tell you exactly who I see going through and who's going to get to the semi-finals, who's going to Wembley, who's going to League One. I'll tell you what I feel. Hopefully, if you lay some money on it, you might make some money. You might make some money on that one too. But for the end of the day, if we want to go for promotion 3.0, we have got to beef up this squad. How much do we need to beef it up? That's about as much as you want. Look, realistically, I put 9 players on the line there. If we get 6, that's all we need. I'm sure Rob and Ryan are literally not wanting to get 9 players, and I'm sure Phil Parkinson doesn't want to get 9 players in straight away because that would set some imbalance into the squad. So I think for moving forward with players who know League One, who've been in League One for a little while, who've played Championship football maybe 2, those are the kind of guys that can get us higher in League One. I don't want to be sitting middle of the table with the same squad, struggling if we didn't make the changes, Rob and Ryan. So have a great weekend. Get ready for the playoffs. I'll keep you informed. Next show is the League 2 playoffs. Then we've got Copa America, Canada games, Canadian Premier League's coming through too. I tell you what, you got lots to keep around for, and still loads of time to chill, like I am too. I'm going to go on a massive trip. That video's coming too. You know about that Vancouver trip I'm going on? That is going to be absolutely... Some of the footage I'm going to show you from the Rocky Mountains as I roll through and there, get back again. It's breathtaking. You'll want to see that for sure. And I won't speed that up one bit. That is just fantastic country that if you've never been in the mountains like that, wow, you're in for something. Anyway, till then, I'm going to zip it up and shut my yap. Love all of you. Have a fantastic time. Pay for your ticket if you're here the first time. Remember, come back again and again and again as we build this family and watch Wrexham go from strength to strength, from high to high, and every game is an absolute buzz for me. I hope it is for you too. Have a great weekend. Cheers.